Hey there everybody, welcome to our very first video of 2018. Super excited that you are able to take the time and join me so we can talk about my sewing plans and crafting plans for the new year. I've definitely been sneaking and checking out all of your goals and plans and what you've been up to so far in the year, and so many of you have already started kind of planning out your crafting year, and I thought I ought to probably get on board with that as well. So today's video is really all about my goals and what I want to achieve for the new year in terms of my sewing, which direction it's going to take, and also talk to you about some new gear that I got, which is really exciting. So I want to kind of start off by recapping essentially the last sewing year, which I would say was okay, but not a complete success, and definitely didn't pan out the way that I intended it to. For the last 12 months, I had really been trying to focus on the hashtag 2017 Make 9, where I planned out 9 projects in January of 2017 and tried to achieve them by the end of the year, December. Well, that didn't quite turn out. I found that although it was really exciting to plan out my projects, as the months went on, I became either discouraged or disinterested in the specific patterns and garments I had intended to make, and I started sidetracking, making other things that I was excited about in that moment, and then felt guilty that I wasn't doing my 2017 Make 9 items instead. So that was a kaputz. Therefore, this year, I thought instead of dedicating myself to specific items or garments, I would do focus areas. So here are my focus areas for the new year. First on my list is absolutely learning to use my serger. If you've been following me over on Instagram, you'll know that I recently purchased for myself as a holiday gift a brand new Brother serger, which is also my very first one. I am super stoked about this because one of the things that's always really bothered me in the back of my head whenever I am making garments is the lack of a professional seam finish. And while it's not a make it or break it deal, for me it really hindered my enthusiasm for sewing. So therefore I figured if we make this investment, and I think sewing is something I'm going to be doing for many years into the future, it would be wise to have a machine like that. So between my sewing machine and my serger, there really shouldn't be anything that I couldn't tackle. Anything that's not up to par is just a lack of personal skill and something I need to work on and practice, and not my lack of equipment or resources, if you can say it that way. So that's certainly top of my list. Then moving down, I also want to make something vintage, and this is a consistent goal I have for all of my years. I love vintage items, collecting vintage patterns as well, and they're not doing any good sitting in my box. So certainly there will be a vintage garment being made this year. I haven't decided what yet. I have a few contenders. Next, I want to do something that has a fun lining. Maybe a dress, maybe a coat, I don't know yet. But having seen all of your posts and makes, I love all of you who use bright, beautiful patterns, who mix and match colors and patterns, and I'm so envious of all the things that you make with these gorgeous prints. Now, I'm not someone who tends to wear a lot of print on the outside, but I thought if I could use it as a lining, that is kind of a 2-in-1. I can enjoy it and enjoy the print, but not feel like I have to dress around the print or something like that. So that's a consideration for this year. Next, I do also want to make a giftable item, whether it's something kind of like a quilt. I have a new member of the family who I met during Christmas, so maybe something for my baby cousin, or maybe like a garment for somebody in my life. I haven't really decided, but I definitely want to make something I can gift out, possibly closer to the holidays of this year. Wow, that's some early thinking. Alright, next then, I also do want to make one runway inspired project. And I've again been seeing a lot of your inspirations where you've taken something or elements or some design parts from a ready-to-wear, a show, a red carpet, and you've made it your own and kind of replicated that. I thought that was so cool. I want to do something similar to that. Exactly which garment or how it's going to turn out, I don't know yet, but something runway inspired. Next, I want to try my hand at making a household item, something for the home, maybe pillows, a blanket, a duvet cover, I don't know. I'm still thinking about that, but something fun for the house. Next, then, I do still want to sew more basics, and I keep talking about this over and over again, but I think I need to really hone in on which patterns and items are true basics in my wardrobe. I feel like I've done a pretty good job over the last 2 years in calling my wardrobe and really solidifying what I love to wear and what works for me, my body shape, my lifestyle, the weather outside, as always when you live on the Pacific West Coast. But I'm thinking more basics that fit me, more basics and colors that I like, so I can wear things I like all the time. Wouldn't that be great? Next and last currently on my list or my focus area is sewing my stash. You know, I was watching Sewing Report on YouTube a couple of days ago, and she's doing this thing where she isn't buying any fabric for the year, and I'm like, whoa. That's determination and dedication right there. I don't think I'm quite at that aspect, but what I would like to do is give myself more of a limit for crafting expenses this year and really look into using up all the lovely fabrics from my stash. I mean, they're no good sitting in the bin if they're not worn and loved, right? So those are kind of my focus areas for this year. Additionally, I want to talk about a couple of items I want to make again because I made them 2017 and they were great. Top of my list is definitely the Ogden cami. I made a one with a bee pattern on it that's black and yellow, which is so cute, but a little bit too small. I need to size up one. So knowing that the pattern more or less works for me, I'm looking forward to making the Ogden cami in multiple colors and definitely a lot of different prints once I can get my hands on some fabric. Otherwise, I also want to make a 70s turtleneck. I'm not wearing it today, but it's a little bit similar to what I'm wearing today. This is a ready-to-wear item from H&M, but the one I made has a big chunky neck, turtleneck. It's like a fold over and then big sleeves, but it's cuffed and it is very 70s in a way, but again, the 70s are back in trend again, so I'm sure I'll be just as trendy as whatever is in the shops right now. But it's a really comfortable item, fits me well, relatively easy to make, especially now that I have a serger. Next, I do want to, for sure, make some more pencil skirts, and I've bought a lot of beautiful fabrics for pencil skirts. I think it's a great and easy silhouette to show off prints and colors. I have not actually made a pencil skirt or a finished pencil skirt in 2017, but 2018 is where we're going with all these pencil skirts, so I'm really excited about those things. I still have a couple of UFOs or unfinished floating objects that still need to be wrapped up in terms of sewing, so I'll definitely need to finish those up as well. In terms of social media tags that I want to participate and follow along this year, some of them I know for sure I'll be checking in on is hashtag Sew My Style. This year is hosted by Jessica Lorraine or Little Miss Lorraine here on social media and YouTube. She is going to be running the Sew My Style. Essentially, there are a group of 12 patterns from various indie pattern companies that everyone will be sewing for each month, one per month, and there will be discounts on the patterns themselves if you buy them, and also I think there will be prizes to be won. But what really interested me this year versus the previous years is that this year you can choose to participate in specific months instead of signing up for the whole year. So I'll be jumping in here and there into hashtag Sew My Style, so looking forward to all of your makes as well for this social media thing for 2018. Then I do want to check in on Fabric Challenge 2018, which is hosted by Sewing Report, who I just mentioned a few minutes ago. She is doing a no fabric buy for the year, but my twist on it is I would like to set myself a limit of 5 new sewing patterns for 2018 and a budget of $100 of new fabric for the year. So that's where I'm going with that one. I also want to participate in Vintage Pledge, and I think that will work out really well since one of my focus areas is to sew a vintage garment. So that is a great fit. Then come May, there is the hashtag #MeMadeMay, which happens every year, where people can sign up to pledge something in terms of how many times or how many items, handmade items they want to wear for the year. I really encourage people to, love and wear and create and show off their handmade garments in the month of May. So there's that. Then looking really ahead into December of 2018, I'm hoping this year to participate in the Little Red Dress project, which I've been following along the past 2 years, but never quite pulled it together and got my schedule sorted to really be a part of. So these are the things I'm super psyched about for the new sewing year. I hope that you have started working on your plans as well. Let me know in the comments down below if you've got a couple of garments that you want to make, or what are your general plans for the year and which directions you are going to take. I'd love to hear that. Otherwise, feel free to follow along over on social media. I post most often about sewing on Instagram, so I'll put all my handles and links down below in the information bar. I also realized that now you can follow hashtags on Instagram. So if you want to just follow my sewing things, you can follow the hashtag Sew with Jerry. That's what I use for all of my sewing and crafting things, if that's more of the area that you are into. So until next time, take great care of yourselves. I will see you very soon in our next video. Until then, bye for now.